In this short video, I want to show you how to do shoulder stand or Sarvangasana. This is an inversion. There's loads of options along the way, which I will show you, so you can do it no matter what your, how you feel or what your ability is. Before we start with it, just a few precautions. So don't do shoulder stand or full shoulder stand if you have any shoulder issues or if you have neck pain, neck injuries. So that's one precaution. Also, it's an inversion, so we're going to be upside down. If you have any heart or blood pressure problems, be very careful, maybe speak to a doctor if you're not sure yourself. If you have any eye injuries, issues, for example glaucoma, also be really careful and maybe avoid the most intense version of the pose, because the blood pressure will build, and as we're going upside down, there's a lot of pressure on your head, on your eyes. But unless that's the case, you should be fine. Also, maybe don't do this if you're pregnant, and generally in yoga, it's said to not practice inversions when you're on your period, when you're menstruating. The reason for that is that, again, we're upside down, so we're reversing the flow of blood towards our head, and when you're menstruating, your body's trying to expel the blood that way, and turning that around is not ideal. But that is past, like, you decide how you feel. All right, now I've got that out of the way. Shoulder stand. One of my yoga teachers calls it the queen of the poses, which I think is lovely, and it's a wonderful pose, really elegant. What it does for your body, the positives are that it calms your nervous system, really calms your mind. Also, turning ourselves upside down, we're supporting our heart. If you think about the fact that our heart is pumping oxygen-rich blood into our body and then has to pump the deoxygenized blood with carbon dioxide back to our heart, back to the lungs. And it does that from your little toe all the way through your calves, through your thighs, all the way back to the heart and to the lungs. That's a long way to go. So by turning ourselves upside down, we're sort of helping with gravity. It feels really elegant. I love this pose. And I'm going to show you the different versions now. Then we're going to do 4 sun salutations together to warm up our body, a little bit of shoulder warm up as well. And then we're going to do shoulder stand together. Cool. Prop-wise, for the different options, have maybe a rolled up blanket ready, just something like this, or a block. So, let me show you, let's work our way backwards. I show you the full version of shoulder stand. What I want to say here is, I don't mean it's better or worse. All versions that I'm showing you are equally valid, and you don't have to think that you need to do a more advanced version. Do whatever feels good to you on that day. So we're going to lie on our backs, and here, if you have long hair, maybe don't put it in a ponytail. Would be quite uncomfortable. Your back is in touch with the ground. Your arms are beside your body. And we're going to use a little bit of momentum to kick our legs into the air, but let me show you first and then we'll do it together. So kicking myself up, this is the full version of shoulder stand. Our hands are on our back, legs are together, engaged. Our elbows are as close as we can get them into the body. Great. And to come out, you bring your legs over your head, release the hands on the mat, and we're rolling down very slowly. Great. So that was shoulder stand, the full version. I'll show you half shoulder stand now. So it starts very similarly. We're lying on our backs, kicking up, placing our hands on our lower back, legs are over our head, and we're just lying here. Engaging our legs again. Legs are active, toes are active. We're looking up. Really lovely this. Again, to come out, legs overhead, hands down, coming down gently. Really great. Okay, so that was version 2, coming to version 3. This is where you can use a blanket or a block. So you're just lying on your backs, getting flat back, lifting up and rolling over, placing your block or your blanket under that bony part of your lower back and just legs into the air. Try to have your feet over your hips. You can have your hands on your abdomen or next to your body. You could even bring them overhead, whatever feels good. And just here, and you can see your feet are in the air, so we're reversing the blood flow here as well. It's really not that different to the full pose. To come out, maybe placing the feet on the ground, lifting glutes off, moving our mat, our blanket to the side. Okay, and the last version is pretty much the same as we just did, but without that additional height through a block or a blanket. So just lying on our backs, feet into the air. Again, feet, could here even try feet apart. I quite like having my feet together. And in that last version, just legs in the air, you could also do that against a wall. So that would be super restorative, really nice. And then you can stay there for ages actually. And that can just be really calming. Cool. Okay, well let's do a couple of sun salutations and then let's do it together. So you can start at the top of our mats, feet together or hip width apart, if that's better for your hips. Wherever we are with our feet, we're going to lift our toes off the ground, lowering them, spreading them wide, and then lowering them one at a time with the little toes first, fourth toe, middle toe, second toe, big toe. If you want, you can raise your heels, place them down. I quite like that, have that really firm grounding. Rolling our shoulders up, back and down, pulling the shoulder blades together, opening our heart, palms facing forward. Standing nice and tall, we're engaging our core and our glutes, so we're really nice and firm. Looking straight ahead, as if someone is pulling us by the top of the head, really tall, tucking the chin ever so slightly. Inhale here and exhale. The next inhale, we're raising our arms overhead, palms together or hands shoulder width apart, maybe looking up. Exhale, we're folding down, hands either side of the feet, palms down, maybe bending the knees here. Forehead towards the shins. Inhale, half forward fold, hands to shins, looking down. Exhale, hands down, we're stepping back with the right, followed by the left into a plank. Heels pulling back, pushing into the ground. Inhale, exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down. 8-point pose, the bum is up in the air. Inhale, we're sliding forward, untucking the toes. As we do so, cobra, elbow into the body, chest is lifted. Inhale, and exhale, pushing into our downward dog. In down dog, our hands are pressing into the ground, fingers are spread nice and wide, index fingers pointing forward. Arms are straight, shoulders are pulling apart slightly, shoulder blades, and shoulders are away from the ears. Flat back, if that means you have to bend your knees a little bit, that is fine. If your down dog feels a little long, you could step your feet in a little bit. And you can absolutely bend your knees here, looking towards our toes, the space between our big toes, feet pointing forward, hip width apart. 2 more breaths here. Breathing in and out through the nose. Inhale, stepping the right foot in between the hands, followed by the left foot. Inhale, half forward fold, hands to shins, nice flat back. Exhale, hands down, bending the knees if we need to, or want to. Inhale, engaging the core, we're coming up with a nice flat back. Exhale, hands into heart center, lovely. 3 more of those. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we're folding down. Inhale, half forward fold, hands to shins. Exhale, hands down, we're stepping back with the left foot this time, followed by the right. Inhaling in plank, heels back, pushing the ground away, shoulder blades apart. Exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down. Inhale, sliding forward, cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Again, if you want to, step in a little bit. Breathing here, in and out through the nose, pushing into the hands, pulling the heels towards the mat, trying to close that gap between the heels and the ground. Don't have to close it, but just by pulling the heels down, you're activating your calves. 2 more breaths. Inhale, we're stepping the left foot forward. Exhale, the right next to it. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, hands down, forward, forward, forward. Inhale, engaging the core, we're coming up. And exhale, hands into heart center. One more on either side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, half forward fold. Hands to shins. Exhale, hands down, stepping back with the right, followed by the left plank. Inhale here, exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down. Inhale, sliding forward, cobra. Exhale, tucking the toes, pushing back into down dog. Inhale, we're stepping the right foot in between the hands, followed by the left. On the exhale, inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, hands down, folding forward. Inhale, engaging the core, coming up. Exhale, hands into heart center, left side. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, hands down, stepping back with the left, followed by the right. Inhaling on plank, exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down. Inhale, sliding forward. Exhale, pushing back. Breathing here. Inhale, stepping forward to the left, followed by the right on the exhale. Inhale, hands to shins, looking down. Exhale, full forward fold. And inhale, engaging the core, we're coming up, flat back. Exhale, hands into heart center. Wonderful. I think we're a bit warmer now. We are going to move to the floor. Just sitting down, coming down gently. Wonderful. On the floor, we're going to do a few shoulder stretches because in shoulder stand, unsurprisingly, there's a lot of weight on our shoulders, and by stretching our shoulders out a little bit, it's going to feel easier. So we're going to start just simply by doing, it's more of a tricep stretch, but it still works our shoulders. So we're going to raise the left arm up, bending the elbow, and then place your right hand on your left elbow. And try to have your elbow above the shoulder and try to have a straight line here. And pull maybe a little bit with that right hand, pushing down, feeling a stretch in the shoulder as well as the triceps. One more moment. Continue to breathe in and out through the nose. One more breath. And letting go. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So inhale the right arm up, bending the elbow, left hand on the elbow, pulling that elbow down a little bit, feeling the stretch. And in our sun salutations, we warmed up our whole body, warmed up our back in cobra and in our downward dog. We also warmed up our shoulders in both of those poses as well as the rest as we were flowing through. Which is great for shoulder stand. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, and let it go. And if you have more time to do more sun salutations, or maybe do like a short class, I've got short classes on my YouTube channel, then the warmer you get, the more you move, the better it is. Okay, let's do eagle arms. So for that, we're going to bring the left hand on the right shoulder, the right elbow around the left elbow. You could just place your right hand on the left shoulder and pull your shoulders, your elbows forward a little bit, if this is enough for you. Otherwise, let go of the right shoulder with the left hand. Bring the back of your forearms together. If you can, see if you can bring the palms to touch, or the fingers and the palms to touch. And here, inhale, And exhale, we're breathing here a little bit. And if you want to intensify the stretch, move your shoulders up, your elbows up, or hands up, and elbows forward. If you find that too intense, just bring your elbows closer into your body and lower down. And just play, experiment with this, and feel how that changes the stretch and the sensation in your shoulders. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale, let's release. You have a little roll of the shoulders, letting go. Okay, now the other side. So right hand on the left shoulder and bringing the left elbow around the right. And again, you could just place the left hand on the right shoulder if that's enough for you. Or letting go of the left shoulder of the right hand and the right shoulder, bring the forearms together, or again, palms and fingers or palms together. And again, if you want to intensify the stretch a little, move your hands up and elbows forward, or play around with it, see how it feels on this side. One side of your body is always going to be different to the other. That is totally normal. You're carrying your bags on one hand. You prefer to write with one hand over the other, right-handed or left-handed. So that means that one side will be more muscular, one side will maybe more tense. One more breath here. Inhale, exhale, and inhale, let's unravel. And rolling our shoulders again. Wonderful. And one thing I also want to do, so in Shoulderstand, in the final version of the pose, our hands are on our back, as close as we can get them to the shoulder blades, and we also want to pull our elbows together. Through from the back. So our fingers are pointing down, balls of the hands are below the shoulder blades. And we're trying to pull our shoulder blades together and elbows together. And we're going to do that seated, just trying that for a breath or two, or for a couple of breaths. So place your hands on your back, fingers pointing down towards the floor, and pulling your elbows together, just looking forward. It's actually working your shoulders quite hard here. One more inhale, and exhale, release. I'm rolling those shoulders. Maybe walk your hands out in front of you and hang your head down. Just rounding through our shoulders and through our upper spine, releasing this. Inhale, pressing it to the floor and walking our hands back. We're going to do shoulder stand together now. And after shoulder stand, there is counter pose, which is fish pose, Marlene, I think. And that is in shoulder stand, we're contracting our neck, especially in the final pose. And in fish, we're stretching our throat the other way. Yoga is very careful about always moving, I guess equally. If we're moving one way, we're moving the other. You will see that in the sun salutations. We stretch up, we fold down, we open up in cobra, and we come into down dog. So there's I guess almost the yin and yang. Okay, so for our shoulder stand, coming onto our backs, lying on our back, have your blanket ready, and let's start together with working through the poses from the most gentle to the most intense. Okay, so let's come into legs in the air. So our hands are next to our glutes, or it could be, let's start with hands next to your glutes, lifting our feet in the air. Staying here, how does this feel? Engaging through the legs, stretching them, stretching behind the knee. Toes pointing, and you're in contact, your feet are in contact, your calves are in contact, your thighs are in contact, if your body is designed like that. All right, and let's bring our knees down. Okay, great. Let's do the next version. We're going to bring our legs in the air, and then let's push in onto our hands a little bit, legs over us, bringing our blanket under us and placing it under the bony blade of our lower back. Again, nice engaged legs. The back of the knees is engaged as well. Feet pointing up. And have a few breaths here. How does this feel in contrast to the previous one? Does that maybe even feel easier? See how you feel. All right, great. Inhale. Let's bring our feet down. Exhale. Lift our glutes off the blanket. Bring it to the side. Let's come to half shoulder stand. Inhale. A bit of momentum pushing up. Hands on the lower back. Again, engaging through the back of the legs, pointing your feet back. Inhale. How does this feel compared to the previous one? Always be curious about your body. All right. To come out, place your hands on the ground and rolling down gently. If at any point you're like, okay, that previous version was exactly perfect for me, stick with that. If you want to try out full shoulder stand, we're going to do that together now. And we're going to stay there for a few breaths more. If you prefer the previous versions, you can do those again. And if you come into full shoulder stand and realize, yeah, that's just not for me, then come out, either lie on the ground or try one of the previous versions. All right. Cool. We're lying on our back, bringing our legs straight into the air for full shoulder stand. A little bit of momentum, rocking up, and hands on our lower back or our upper back, as close as we can get to our shoulders. You can maybe try and walk up, and your elbows as close into your body as well. And here again, engaging through the whole leg. The leg is straight, pointing your toes up. Imagine your legs are like a mermaid's tail. They're one unit. And look towards your belly button. You don't have to look towards your toes, just look towards your belly button. We're staying for another 3 breaths. Or if you're already done, which is totally fine, come out and lie on your back. 2 more breaths. Inhale. You'll hear that my voice sounds a bit funny. That was because your voice box is a bit constricted here. 2 more breaths. All right, to come out, we're going to drop our legs, our feet back, bringing our knees over our face, arms alongside our body, and we're rolling down super slowly, super gently. Wonderful. And I've mentioned that counter pose to you, fish pose. So for that, we're going to roll on you could bend your left knee, pushing into the foot, rolling onto your sides until your bum comes off the floor, placing your right hand under, your left hand under your right glutes and rolling onto it. Your bum will probably be either on the back of your hand or on your wrist. Now doing the same thing on this other side, bending the right foot, pushing into the right knee, pushing into the right foot, rolling over until your bum comes off the floor, placing the right hand next to the left hand. We're lying on our hands. Palms are into the mat. Elbows are under our body. We're going to inhale here, and we're pushing into our elbows so that our chest lifts up, dropping our neck so that the top of our head, the crown of our head comes through the floor. And we're looking back, we're stretching our throat. There's almost no weight in your head. The weight is in your elbows. Inhale. Exhale. Stay for 2 more breaths. Breathing in and out through the nose. Can't breathe deeply here. You do that stretch in the chest. Okay, to come out, we inhale. We're pushing into our elbows again, lifting the head off the chest till we're looking towards our toes, and we're rolling back. We're releasing our feet, hands from under our glutes. Let's bring our knees into our chest, hugging them, or hands on the shins if you can't hold your hands or your opposite underarms, forearms. Squeezing here. Let's bring our hands behind our knees and rocking to seated. Wonderful. Really well done. if you joined. As you can see, there were 4 versions of shoulder stand here that were progressively more intense, but all were doing the same thing. We were turning ourselves upside down, our feet were in the air, our head was on the ground. So it all do a really similar sit thing. You don't have to feel like just because you do version 1 over version 4, you're not working hard enough. You're doing great. So this is a really short one. If you want to do a whole class with me where shoulder stand is involved, I'll link one in the notes. If you want to let me know what other yoga how-tos you'd like to see, please comment and also like if you want. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.